Hey yo, welcome back to another episode of Indiana Jones's F1 channel, where we are gonna be checking some of the future stars, some future Hamiltons, Verstappens, Leclerc's, who knows, Kimi Raikkonen's, Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna, and so on. We all know some names that are, if you are into motorsports actually, we know some names that are in F2, some of them are in reserve driver roles in F1 right now. You might know like Liam Lawson, Theo Porcher, Robert Schwartzman, Marcus Armstrong, right? Some other names that I might be forgetting right now. But anyway, we know those names if you're into motorsports like me. That are there waiting for a chance in F1. Of course, there's only 20 seats and only few can get into there. Let's not forget one thing that is very important. The F2 champion cannot repeat another season in the category. That means that he needs to find another place to go. And if he doesn't have a place in F1, most of the times they go either to Resistance or to Indianapolis, like the American, let's say, open seat driving, or Formula E, or these kind of things. So let's see who could be, according to stars and statistics and whatever, who could be the next F1 drivers of the future. Let's start with one that is kind of a racing star, as they say, Nikola Tsolov. This guy is from Bulgaria, as you can see, 16 years of age. He's racing in F3 this season, 2023, in ART Grand Prix, which is one of the best, one of the best teams of the category, along with Prema and Carlin, perhaps. He's a driver of the Alpine Academy, also managed by the Fernando Alonso managing team, however you want to call it. And he's kind of like a meteoric. Like a comet, right? Going up in the categories. He was fourth in the European Championship in 2021, caught the eye of Fernando Alonso, and they signed him to be racing under his mentorship, let's say. They raced together in, I think it's 24 Hours of Dubai in go-karting or something like this, where they came third or something like that. But anyway, in the Karting World Championship, he was the fifth in 2021, European fourth. And these actually championships, if you watched any of them, they are very close battles, and winning is kind of difficult. But anyway, and the Spanish F4 last season, he was the first with 13 wins and 15 pole positions. Let's say he dominated the category. If I'm not mistaken, there are like 20 races, and he won 13 of them, which is a lot. So he will be racing in F3 with ART Grand Prix. He's expected to be doing quite well this season, and let's see if he can manage to be in the first positions. Perhaps in 2024 we can see him in F2, and who knows if in the close future in Alpine or any other racing seat in F1. The next name would be Oliver Bearman, the British driver of 17 years of age. Is racing in F3 right now in Prema, one of the best teams, if not the best. You can see here he used to be a Ferrari driver academy. I think he still is, by the way. I forgot to put it here, but anyway. He raced in go-karting as everybody else, but anyway, ADAC F4, he was the first in 2021 with 6 wins and 5 pole positions. Italian F4 in the same year, he was the first as well with 11 wins and 8 pole positions. So this is kind of dominating. I think it's also like 20 races, something like this. And the F3, he was third in 2023 with 1 win. F3, of course, he was racing with Prema, as you can see here, which is one of the best teams. Mick Schumacher went to Prema. Third in 2022, and he's expected to be in racing again to try to win. Probably he might win it, however there will be a lot of competition for that. One of the racing stars of the Ferrari Academy, so he has a lot of pressure, of course, and expected good results for this season. Probably he might be in F1 in several years' time. The next one should be Isaac Alexander Hadjar. I don't know how to pronounce this name, if I can be honest, forgive me. I am not even French or by the appearances of the surname, Muslim, Islamic, any Arabic country. Anyway, doesn't matter. 18 years of age, from France, and he is racing in F2 this year with a high-tech team. He is a member, as you can see, of the Red Bull Academy. And here you can see his record. French F4, third in 2020 with 3 wins and 2 pole positions. Europe Formula Regional, 5th in 2021 with 2 wins and 1 pole position. And FIA F3, 4th in 2022 with 3 wins and 1 pole position, beating teammate Jack Crawford from the USA, who was also part of the Red Bull Academy. Both of them, in theory, have high expectations. However, he came 3, and he's going to be racing in F2 with high-tech. Let's see how this guy is doing. Also, Red Bull has a lot of expectations on him. Pressure is high, and we know that Red Bull is a driver-killing machine. So let's see what happens with this possible next French F1 star. Now we are going to Barbados. I don't think we ever had any Barbados racer ever anywhere in like a high racing, let's say F1 or these kind of categories, right? 19 years of age, from Barbados, and racing for Carlin in F2. Now he joined, I think in December of last year, he signed for Red Bull as a junior team, and he probably will be also in F1 very soon, because this year he's the reserve driver alongside Daniel Ricciardo for the main F1 team. So perhaps you might see him along with Liam Lawson, for example, with Alpha Tauri. As you know, they have some Friday, how do you call it, like free practice sessions for the youngsters. They must have at least 2 weekends in all the season where they must put some youngsters there. So perhaps either Liam Lawson or perhaps Zane Maloney could be there. So let's check. He was the 5th in 2017 in the Karting World Championship in OKJ category, and in the F1 British, he won the British F4. Sorry, he was the 1st in 2018 with 10 wins and 6 pole positions. I think there are like 18 or 20 races as well, so it's more than half. So I mean, he kind of destroyed everybody else. Formula Regional, he was 4th in 2021 with 1 win and 1 pole position, and in FIA F3, he was the 2nd last year with 3 wins and 2 pole positions. So he beat the French guy, Hadjar, and he will beat also other people like the next guy, who is Dennis Hauger, another Red Bull Academy driver. As you might notice, there's a lot of Red Bull Academy drivers, but there's only 2 seats for Red Bull and 2 seats for Alpha Tauri. So I don't think there's a lot of space for all of these young people to go into F1. Of course, you can do like Pierre Gasly and leave the team, or like Daniel Ricciardo did before, or Sebastian Vettel. But let's see how all these people manage, because they are racing against other Red Bull Academy drivers, and of course against everybody else as well, to try to be in F1 at a very young age. Like having pressure to win every single thing that you are at before you are like 18 or 20 is high pressure. Dennis Hauger from Norway, 19 years of age, now racing for Prema in F2, another of the stronger teams again. Red Bull Junior Academy, as you can see here. And let's see his background. European karting, 4th in OKJ in 2016. Sorry. British F4, he was 4th in 2018 with 4 wins and 4 positions. ADAC F4, 2nd in 2019 with 6 wins and 5 pole positions. Italian F4, 1st in 2019 with 12 wins and 7 pole positions. Again, I think it's like 20 races, so more than half. And there you go to more international stuff like FIA F3. He was 1st in 2021 with 4 wins and 3 pole positions. And last year he was racing in F2, where he came 10th with 2 wins. Of course, he's fighting in F2 with Liam Lawson, for example, to try to get into F1. They hired Nick De Vries, so probably they didn't see in him potential yet. Like I think it was Helmut Marko who was saying that the younger like junior team drivers still need to develop a little bit before they can make the jump into F1. So Dennis Hauger, Liam Lawson, the ones in F2 right now, are the ones who are in theory expected to make the jump into F1. Let's see how they develop this season, because in F2 there will be several Red Bull Academy drivers, and let's see what's going to happen, for example, with Yuki Tsunoda, who might lose his seat next season in AlphaTauri. Next one that we can see in the future is Jack Doohan. I think this guy actually, it's already kind of recognized face. He was with Alpine, I think, in some free practices this season. 20 years of age from Australia, he's racing with Virtuosi in F2 and Alpine Academy driver. He was the third in the European CIK OKJ Championship in 2017, World Championship 6th in 2017 as well, British F4 5th in 2018 with 3 wins, F3 Asian Championship 2nd in 2019, and also in 2020 with 5 victories in each season. FIA F3 2nd in 2021 with 4 victories and 2 pole positions, and in F2 last season he was 6th with 3 wins and 3 pole positions, better than Dennis Hauger, for example. And again, no seat. He was one of the names actually that was in consideration to enter into the Williams racing seat, but Williams finally went for their younger academy driver, Logan Sargent from the USA. Of course, being from the USA, he had a lot of votes, but he needed to get the super license at the end of the season. So another guy from Australia, I think this year we don't have Australian, no, Piastri is from Australia, sorry, yes. So in Alpine, the doors are closed, I think, for several seasons now with Gasly and with Ocon. Also, he was one of the considered drivers for the Alpine, since he's the reserve driver as well. Let's see if he can make it into another seat for next season, for example. I think the only team that would be available would be Williams Racing, for example, if Alexander Albon doesn't renew the contract. Let's see what's going to happen with Albon or other drivers like in Haas team or whatever. Let's see who else do we have next. Victor Martins from France with a double nationality from Portugal as well. 21 years of age, racing in F2 in ART Grand Prix, one of the best teams as well. He's an Alpine Academy driver, and you can see here CIK FIA World Championship first in 2016, French F4 second in 2017 with 4 wins and 9 pole positions, Formula Renault Eurocup 5th in 2018 with 2 wins and 2 pole positions, same championship second in 2019 with 6 wins and 9 pole positions, and same championship again in 2020 where he won in the third try with 7 wins and 10 pole position. FIA F3, he was 5th in 2021 with 1 victory, and he won the championship in next year, which was last year, with 2 victories. As you can see, 2 victories, many podiums to get the victory before Hajdar and all the other drivers that I mentioned before. Again, Alpine driver like Doohan, still no seats available. Let's see what's going to happen, because F2 this year is going to have a lot of talent, but not all of them will have a space to go into F1. Let's see if there is any of the champions that can make it actually into F1 for 2024. Another driver, and I think this is one of the most recent racing stars that Mercedes signed in 2019, if I am not mistaken. I saw him racing the other day in the Middle East, and he recovered a lot of positions in the race. But anyway, he's Italian. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, I'm guessing Kimi, as you can see here, based on the world champion Kimi Raikkonen, right? 16 years of age, and he's racing in the European Formula Regional Championship with Prema, which is the best team, of course. CIK, he was the second in 2019. He was in the European Championship. He won it the following year in 2020. He won it again in 2021. Italian F4, he won it on the first try in 2022 with 13 victories and 14 pole positions, which is more than half, basically destroying everybody. ADAC F4, Also, first in 2022 with 9 victories and 7 pole positions. And as I mentioned, he was in the Middle East Formula Regional Championship, where he won with 3 races, wins, and 3 pole positions. I think this guy might make it into F1 in the near future if he continues like this. I think this year he will be in the Formula Regional in Europe. Probably in 2024 he might race in F3, where I think he's going to do it very well. And then in F2, and then probably Mercedes might try to put him in some race seat. Being Italian, I can see this guy ending up in Ferrari if he is the star that he is supposed to be. Seeing how he's racing, I think he might make it into F1 quite quick. Another Max Verstappen, I don't think so, because there's of course regulations to get the super license. But anyway, I think these are one of the top selections to see in the future of F1. If there's any other driver that you think is gonna make it there, like Jack Crawford, like I mentioned before, or any other driver that you might think, like there's Arthur Leclerc, Charles Leclerc's brother, which I don't think he will make it into F1, to be honest. There's many names, but I think these guys are supposed to be the ones who are destined to dominate the mother, the queen or king of all the racing categories in the close future. Let's say like 2030-ish, or even sooner. Let's see if this is true or not. Any of these names end up there. And as per usual, if you have any comments or whatever, put it in the box, and see you in the next episode.